Loneliness is more common than you might think. Did you know that over 60% of young adults report feeling lonely? And it's not just about being alone. Loneliness can strike even when you're surrounded by people. In fact, some of the loneliest people are those who seem to have it all: friends, family, and a busy social life. Here's something even more shocking: loneliness can be as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yes, you read that right. It's not just an emotional burden, it's a serious health risk. But what if I told you there's a way out? In this video, we'll explore the illusion of isolation, dive into the heart of emotional loneliness, and uncover the digital disconnect that so many of us feel today. We'll also talk about the power of vulnerability, the importance of self-love, and how to find your tribe, even in unexpected places. So, if you're feeling lonely, you're not alone. Stick around, because the answers you're looking for might be just a few minutes away. Chapter 1: The Illusion of Isolation. Loneliness is tricky. It makes you feel like you're completely isolated, even when you're not. The truth? Loneliness is often more about perception than reality. In fact, research shows that loneliness is more tied to how you think about your relationships than the number of people around you. The illusion of isolation can cloud your mind, making you believe that no one cares, even if they do. Dr. Julianne Holt-Lunstad, a psychology professor, found that loneliness can be as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's a wake-up call, right? But here's the thing: being alone and feeling lonely are two different things. Solitude can be refreshing, a time for self-reflection and growth. But loneliness? It's that nagging feeling that no one truly gets you. To break the illusion, start by challenging your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this really true, or am I just feeling this way? Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, techniques can be a game changer here. They help you reframe negative thoughts, making loneliness less overwhelming. Another strategy is mindfulness. Instead of getting lost in the spiral of negative thinking, focus on the present. Mindfulness helps you appreciate the moment, reducing feelings of isolation. Remember, loneliness often lives in the past or the future, not in the now. Chapter 2: The Heart's Echo. Understanding emotional loneliness. Emotional loneliness is different from being alone. It's when you feel unheard or unseen, even in a room full of people. Studies show that emotional loneliness can be more damaging than social loneliness. It digs deeper because it touches the core of who you are. John Cacioppo, a leading researcher on loneliness, said that emotional loneliness happens when there's a gap between the relationships you have and the relationships you want. If you're craving deeper connections, superficial ones won't fill that void. To bridge this gap, start by opening up. It might feel scary, but sharing your feelings can help you connect on a deeper level. Brené Brown, in her book Daring Greatly, talks about the power of vulnerability. She says, vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you invite others to do the same. Listening is also key. Real listening isn't just about hearing words, it's about understanding emotions. When you listen with empathy, you create a safe space for others to open up, and that's where real connections form. Chapter 3: Digital Connection. Real-life disconnection. We live in a world where everyone is always connected, yet so many feel disconnected. It's the paradox of our times. Social media is supposed to bring us closer, but it often does the opposite. A study from the University of Pennsylvania found that reducing social media use to 30 minutes a day significantly decreases feelings of loneliness and depression. Surprising, right? So, what can you do? Start by setting boundaries with your devices. It's not about quitting social media altogether, but about using it mindfully. Ask yourself, is this adding value to my life? If it's not, it's time to hit the unfollow button or take a digital detox. Another strategy is to prioritize face-to-face interactions. According to a study in the American Journal of Health Promotion, people who spend more time in real-life interactions are happier and less lonely. Try meeting friends for coffee instead of texting. Or join a local club or group where you can meet people who share your interests. Finally, use technology to enhance, not replace, your real-life connections. Video calls are a great way to stay in touch with loved ones who are far away. But remember, nothing beats a real hug or a heartfelt conversation in person. Want to stay updated? Subscribe now and let's jump back into the content. Chapter 4: The Power of Vulnerability. Opening up to overcome loneliness. Being vulnerable can feel like exposing a wound. But here's the thing: vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Dr. Brené Brown, in her book Daring Greatly, says, vulnerability is not winning or losing, it's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. This courage can transform your relationships. When you open up, you invite others to connect with the real you. It's easy to put up walls and hide behind a mask, but true connection happens when you let those walls down. Start small. Share a personal story or a fear with someone you trust. Notice how it feels to be honest, even if it's uncomfortable at first. Research shows that vulnerability leads to deeper and more meaningful relationships. A study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that couples who regularly share their thoughts and feelings are more satisfied and feel closer to each other. So, if you're feeling lonely, try opening up a little more. You might be surprised by how others respond. Another powerful tool is practicing empathy. When you empathize with someone, you're not just listening to their words, you're feeling their emotions. Empathy creates a strong bond, making both parties feel understood and less alone. Chapter 5: Self-Love. Your first and lasting relationship. Self-love is not just a buzzword, it's a foundation for happiness. Often, loneliness stems from a lack of self-acceptance. If you don't love yourself, how can you expect others to? Learning to love yourself can be the most important relationship you'll ever have. Louise Hay, in her book You Can Heal Your Life, wrote, "You have been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens." This shift in mindset can be life-changing. Start by treating yourself with kindness. When negative thoughts creep in, counter them with positive affirmations. Self-care is another crucial aspect of self-love. It's about more than just bubble baths and spa days, though those are nice too. It's about setting boundaries, saying no when you need to, and making time for activities that bring you joy. Studies show that people who practice self-care have lower levels of anxiety and depression. Gratitude also plays a big role. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your attention away from what's lacking. Keep a gratitude journal and write down 3 things you're thankful for each day. It's a simple habit that can make a big difference in how you feel about yourself and your life. Chapter 6: Building Your Tribe. Finding connection in unexpected places. Finding your tribe isn't always easy, but it's worth the effort. Your tribe is a group of people who get you, who support you, and who make you feel like you belong. And sometimes, you find them in the most unexpected places. Start by exploring your interests. Do you love painting, hiking, or playing board games? Whatever it is, there's probably a group out there that shares your passion. Websites like meetup.com or local community boards are great places to start. According to a study by the Harvard Business Review, people who engage in activities they enjoy with others are happier and more connected. Volunteering is another fantastic way to meet like-minded people. When you volunteer, you're not just helping others, you're also building relationships. A study from the Corporation for National and Community Service found that volunteers report lower levels of depression and a stronger sense of purpose. Plus, it's easier to connect with people who share your values. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Sometimes, your tribe isn't where you expect it to be. Attend events, join clubs, or take up a new hobby. Be open to meeting people from different backgrounds and experiences. The more diverse your connections, the richer your life becomes. And remember, building a tribe takes time. It's about quality, not quantity. Focus on nurturing a few deep relationships rather than trying to make as many friends as possible. In the end, it's the meaningful connections that will make you feel less alone. Join our journey by subscribing to the channel and never miss out on our latest uploads.